Hey, Schwartz. Listen, 2 a.m. set tonight in New Orleans. There's two things I need to remind you of. One, you don't need to drink from now until 2 a.m. and through the show until 5 a.m. and then still be up at 10 a.m. drinking. This is a fucking job. So please, do a great job. Let the people in the crowd do all the drinking. You do all the music and fucking blow their minds. 2, we get 40 guests tonight. Not 100 guests. 40 guests. You're hurting yourself. Folks want to see you or they're happy to pay. They planned their vacation. They flew to New Orleans. They're figuring it out. They're excited to support their favorite musician. Let them do it. You aren't throwing a party for yourself at 2 a.m. at Tipitina's. We're trying to sell tickets to your show. We're trying to keep Tips happy. We want Bongiorno to be happy. I'd like to be happy. Please and thank you. Drink water.
Right. And we're back. Andy Frasco. Oh, no, do it again?
No, I got it. I'm just being stupid.
Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast. I'm Andy Frasco. This is my co-host, Nick Gerlach. Summer Camp Music Festival Edition. Wow, let's go.
Hearts and minds, bro.
What'd you say?
Hearts and minds.
Hearts and minds. Oh, yeah. How's our hearts? How's our minds? Are we staying out of trouble?
I'm not trying to get fired by your mom here.
Yeah, she won't like it if I don't get to
I'm just proving to her it wasn't my fault.
Okay, it was my fault this time, forgetting about the
Madam
hearts.
Frasco.
Forgetting about your minds, forgetting about the anxiety we all have going into festival season. Jesus Christ, I am so nervous.
You have so many festivals.
I have so many goddamn
Every time
festivals.
I go online, it's like, I might block you on Instagram. Oh my God! It's like
22 festivals. But
how can this many people be interested in seeing this? You guys are a good festival act, though, because
we're
it's
a great festival act.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing.
I love during summer camp. We're playing at 2 a.m.
I
2
know.
to 4. We're
Dude,
closing that bitch out on that Sunday.
On the campfire thing.
Campfire.
That's
last
like basically
set.
the last set. Of
basically, yeah, we're closing out summer
That's
camp.
It's gonna be insane.
But this is a special edition.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Summer Camp Music Festival.
My favorite music festival.
Go to summer camp. It is May. I think it
Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend. Yeah,
Every year
May 26th through May 29th.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be fun. We got the next 3 episodes. We are going to be interviewing some of the headliners of summer camp.
And former headliners.
Headliners. This week we have a former headliner and a headliner. We have Dave Bruzza.
I don't think he's playing it this year.
He's not playing it, but we got Dave.
Oh, he's a
Midwest
headliner.
Dave. Okay. He's a headliner.
All right. I thought you meant
Greensky
of summer camp.
Bluegrass is a headliner.
I thought you meant of summer camp this year. Yeah.
Dave's putting out a solo record, and we wanted to get him on the podcast because it comes out this week. So
Surf Rock.
Surf Rock was good. I liked it.
Didn't see that coming, though.
I didn't see it coming either. It's like Dave always surprised me. I didn't know he recorded the whole record, too. That's exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, summer camp, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. A lot of great bands. There's like 1,000 bands on that festival.
I know. Every year they kill it with that.
Yeah.
Because he does a good job.
Ian does a good job booking
fostering the young people coming up.
We're going to get Ian on the show, too, to kind of introduce what exciting extra curricular activities we're going to have. I hope Stasek still does the
kickball. I thought he retired.
Kickball.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
It's like sunrise kickball, basically.
He is a dad now, and I get that.
I think he retired last year. I don't think he did it. I think someone did it for him.
I think someone else needs to keep the tradition alive.
Well, you can't. You won't be there.
And it could be not me because I'm not available.
They can't. Yeah. You don't need another kitschy thing.
I know. I don't need any.
Maybe just write a song and play a fucking song.
Yeah, maybe that's good.
Everything doesn't have to be a party game.
It's festival. Frasco's festivals. I like going and getting drunk with the people.
I know. You're the princess of it all.
Oh, man. We have a fun episode. We're going to keep this opening.
I love Bruzza. I didn't really know him that well before this. I'd hung out with him one time here. We had wings, and then I rode with him in a shuttle at Halloween one time.
He was my quarantine buddy.
I didn't know that. I feel like he kind of stopped hanging around when I started coming around.
My first friends in Denver that, like, right when I moved here from the quarantine was, like, Dave Bruzza.
Oh, maybe
Scott Morrill.
I feel like he got
Jeremy
sober.
Salkin.
He got sober, and that's when he stopped hanging out with you. And that's why I didn't see him very much.
He didn't in the beginning when he was, like, first fighting sobriety. He's like, I shouldn't hang out with Frasco, and I respect that.
It's not very good.
But now that he's, like, more empowered with his sober life, that we get hangs now, and I don't have to, like,
smart guy.
Feel like Peer Pressure. Yeah, he's very smart.
Yeah.
Great lyricist, great songwriter.
Yep.
You know what else is very smart? Dialed In Gummies,
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
We got a new sponsor. We got 2 sponsors presented by Dialed In Gummies and Repsy.com. Dialed In. These are great. I'm not a fan of edibles.
Put a little of this in my coffee right now.
You could put that in your coffee?
It's simple syrup.
Oh, I thought it was fruity. So you could.
It's not flavored at all.
They have liquid weed. They have edible weed, which I love. I've been eating these.
Actually, I'm not going to. There's not enough coffee left.
Dialed In Gummies. It's rosin gummies.
Yep.
I'm stoked on it because normally gummies. Solventless, yes. And they co-collab with all these different growers. And they make gummies for them. Then they're telling me, Keith, one of the marketing guys, says like, you know, because we work with co-collabs. He's like, sometimes these growers,
they're not cool.
They're not cool, and they try to sneak one on because they don't like pesticides. They don't want any of that shit. They want the pure. They test it. So some growers try to like throw them a curveball, saying, "Oh, hopefully they don't see."
Notice.
Nope, not our boys are dialed in.
That's why they're the best.
Keeping it clean.
That's why they win all these awards all the time.
That's why they win all.
Every time I talk to Keith, they won a new award.
Yeah, and they're like sold out everywhere, and they're like. They sell. It's insane how many. They're telling me the business. I'm like, God damn, good for them.
We should have made gummies.
We should have been in the fucking gummy game.
No, I'd be terrible at it. I like to eat them.
Yeah. So get yourself some Dialed In gummies if you're in the area. Also, it's cool. They have these QR codes that every box will tell you exactly who the grower was, who helped them co-collab, and what type of effects
and what sign it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit.
That's a lot for you. And
I like taking half.
Tells you its birth sign.
Take half during the day. Then I'll eat a whole one before.
Can you chew that louder in the mic for me? Thanks.
They're fire, dude. So get yourself some Dialed In gummies if you're in the area. If you're in a state that's legal. They're in a few states. They're in 3 or 4 states. And our other, we might as well, we got to give our other boys, our OG homies, some love. Repsy.com.
Oh, yeah.
Repsy.com, guys. If you're in a band, if you're a wedding planner, if you're a venue owner, a magician, juggler, hula hooper who is popular enough to get booked somewhere.
There are those.
I know. I know a bunch of homegirls in St. Louis who are
really
fucking killing it. They're getting booked on all these festivals. They're like a badass group of girls who just like hula hoop and do fire.
I mean, there are some amazing hula hoop tricks.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to
Repsy. So sign up for Repsy.com and let's get you booked. If you have an agent, they don't take a cut if they're one of the partners.
Right.
But if you don't have an agent, it's a little cut, whatever. Let's get your band out there. It's cannibalism out there. I've been talking about this a lot.
Right now.
It's impossible to find shows, and if you find a show, there's going to be 6 other fucking bands in that same town. So you might as well get all the extra help you could get. Yeah. So sign up for Repsy.com. Great week. We're going to have a great week. Nick, are you ready?
You're playing Red Rocks in like 3 weeks.
Oh, my God. I don't even want
You're playing. This is more, even though you're opening this time, I feel like this is more of a Red Rocks show than your last one.
Oh, yeah. This is like 10,000 people.
As you know, I'm very experienced at that venue.
Oh, by the way.
And the vibe.
I know we don't have much time, but I saw Nelly and
you went
Ludacris.
To that.
It was one of the best. I forgot.
I know Julie was jealous. She didn't get to go.
Oh my God!
You got her ticket?
Nelly,
you got her a ticket?
I could have got her a ticket. It was Phyllis's birthday, surprise birthday.
We saw her that day.
Shout out to Don Strasberg and Stroll and all the guys at AEG for letting me give my homegirl a great birthday.
Oh, Stroll booked it?
Stroll booked it.
I love Stroll.
Yeah, Strasberg's like, hit up Stroll and they'll get you in the back. I'm like, hell yeah.
Stroll's
you think I can meet Nelly? He's like, no.
No.
But
you probably don't want to meet. Never meet your heroes.
I love Nelly. I was crying. All those songs remind me of 5th grade.
There was 2 rappers.
Ludacris and Fat Joe. Fat Joe opened.
Damn.
He's like, I never opened, but I'm with legends.
Well,
Blow was having a blast, though. Blow knew every song. Like he was like doing the whole fucking smoking a joint and singing to the sky.
Luda's one of the. I bet Luda would be an amazing like stand-up comedian too.
Oh yeah, they're great.
You know how I love that kind of stuff.
All right, we got a long episode. Summer camp, here we come. 3 weeks away. Are you ready?
Peoria,
Nick,
baby.
I might sneak you in my
chill
closet.
With coffee.
Might sneak you in my.
I might just go. Who knows?
Maybe we could get a live podcast again.
Let's not sound like we're desperate weirdos trying to get me on summer camp.
No, but book Nick Gerlach for summer camp.
No, don't do that. Don't listen to him, Ian.
All right, guys, we're gonna have a great week. Dave Bruzza first.
He owes me nothing.
I'm gonna surprise you with the headliners. We're not gonna tell them who the next 3 weweeks are of summer camp.
Oh, the interviews.
Then after these 3 weeks...
Well, they're great. One of them is one of my favorite acts of the last 5 years.
Exciting.
They blew up big time.
Excited. And then after these 3 weeks, then we go to Bonnaroo. We have 3 Bonnaroo headliners.
Are we going to get Humphreys on one of these, or are we not get the VIP package?
Killing us. You're killing us. Oh, you're killing me.
So good.
Oh, God. All right. We got to go. It's been 10 minutes. That was quick 10. We got a big one with Bruzza. He's going to promote the record. We're going to have a listening party. First ever listening party. And it's a world premiere of Bruzza's new solo record.
2 songs. We're going to listen to him.
And judge him.
And you're going to listen with us.
You're going to listen to him with us.
If you fast forward, we have a censor that will know, and you'll be banned from listening to the podcast.
Yeah, and we, it vibrates my phone every time someone skips through a part of the segment. Yep. All right, guys. Enjoy Bruzza. Enjoy one of the summer camp guests, and I won't tell you who. And I'll catch you
it's
next
a surprise, but it's in the title of the podcast.
All right, we got to go. Goodbye. On the tail end. Holy shit, we got a legend on. Bill Payne. How you doing, bud?
Let's keep money, man. Get him out here. Good, very well, Andy. Thanks for bringing me in on this. I was told this is a good thing to be involved in, and you're a great guy. And it's fine. I appreciate it. I like your attitude already.
Cool. I appreciate it, bud. You actually you play with my guitar player a bunch, Shawn Eckels. He's in the band Speakeasy. He was in the band. He opened for you guys a bunch, and
that's right. No, I love Shawn. He's a good guy.
Yeah, and with Fred. It was one of Fred's buddies.
Yes. Shawn Eckels. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he's my guitar player. Yeah, I want, this is amazing. I mean, I feel like you're one of the first musicians to really develop an online community, like to promote yourself via online.
Well, we had to. I mean, the drill with management when it's sour.
Yeah. Got to do it solo.
We're selfish as musicians, Andy. We want the business thing to be right, but sometimes it's not. And when it's not, we still want to play music.
Right.
And so I went to our fans and I said, I need your help. And they go, what do you want us to do? I said, very simply, when we come into Des Moines, Iowa, I'd like the people of Des Moines and the surrounding areas to know that Little Feat is a town.
Right.
And I got an idea on how to do that. And so that was, and I kind of got the notion of, there's Andy DeFranco was doing stuff. John Prine was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities back then. But my source of inspiration was Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail of 1972.
Tell me about it. Why did
that
it
was about
Richard?
That was about the run from Richard Nixon and the cat from North Dakota, I think, McGovern, Senator McGovern. That was that campaign. McGovern got shellacked in the election, but the way that Hunter Thompson was talking about how to put together a grassroots organization, I kind of got my impetus from that. So it was a combination of politics, reading, desperation to keep Little Feat afloat. And what turned out to be was not just tapping into a community, but opening up the doors between, we hide behind this veil as artists, right?
Right.
We're here, the audience is there. And I want to open it up to where we can still have that mystery that we have up on stage, and that the barriers or whatever we want to call them, the veils, as I said. But I wanted to get to know people. I'm a writer of things beyond music. I mean, I write poetry, I lyrics, of course, but I also write prose. And as that kind of guy, I'm inquisitive about people, about things. I want to get to know who is out there, who's crazy enough to listen to Little Feat, and with all this eclectic music that we do for starters, right. What kind of person is that? And so it's been a really interesting ride along those lines.
What was going on in the music industry back then, maybe with your career, or how labels were promoting bands that's already had like the you guys have been legendary in the music scene forever. Like what was going on during that time? Maybe you guys got dropped to make you realize we're going solo because we're still going to do this thing. What happened during that time?
Well, we had a label or two that were supporting us and trying to, but it was just the eye to eye, the day to day conversations with management really wasn't there anymore, and they were propping it up like, "Oh yeah, we're fine," Well, it wasn't. I mean, we just I felt there was a complete disconnect with it. And at the end of the day, I mean, it was something. Here's something for you. So it shows you how long ago it was. I was talking to management, to business management, the whole 9 yards, about selling CDs at our concerts. Why would you want to do that? Is what they told me. And I said, well, at that time, only country artists were doing it, right?
Right.
And so I said, well, give me a couple of boxes, and we're going into Iowa, which I mentioned earlier. And I called him up. I said, so let's say a box has 50 in it. And we were in, I'll say Des Moines again. We're somewhere else. But that town has 3 really good record stores at the time. And they have 3 of our new albums in each store. That's 9 albums. We sold 50. And they went, oh my God. And all of a sudden they woke up. I thought, why don't I just become a businessman instead of a musician? Show them how it's done.
It's like, first
I
off,
love music to do that.
exactly. Like, first off, why the fuck aren't they thinking about this? Why are we have to think about this? Like that's how so delusional they are outside of, marketing a record, it's so important. I mean,
That's it. Yeah. And that's exactly what it was back then, Andy. Now we're with Vector Management, which is Ken Levitan, which is Brian Penix, and Brian is our day-to-day guy. And he says, you got to do this interview with Andy. He's a good guy. It's a great show. And I said, well, yeah, I'll check it out. But so we're in partnership with some people that really care. They're knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And we both exchange ideas. That's the way it ought to be.
Right.
We're all we're trying to do is promote things that we both on both sides of the quotient love to do.
Yeah.
And that's reach people.
exactly.
Communicate with people.
You talk about being a poet. I mean, lyrics are important for the development of music and for lifetime songs, I think, What's the difference was it harder to break a band in the 70s versus breaking a band now?
I would think it'd be tougher now, in the sense of we don't sell albums anymore. I'm talking about the general thing. I'm 73 years old, and I'm sort of removed from what it would be to start a band like, say, yourself out there. At least with Warner Brothers, when I was your age, or maybe a little younger even, we had the support of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And that was Lenny Waronker, Ted Templeman, Mo Austin. And, Randy Newman was on the label. Van Dyke Parks, Bonnie Raitt came in a little later. The Nitty Gritty Dirt Band was probably with Atco or somebody else, I'm not sure. But there was a system in place to allow artists to develop, and they would help you do that.
Right.
I don't think that exists anymore, does it?
No, like the idea of an A&R doesn't really exist. I was just talking about this with somebody. Like they had that idea, like the mothering A&R person. I don't know. Maybe you had a different experience with the A&R, because I've heard stories about your band that I want to get into eventually. But
honestly, we really didn't need any A&R help.
Yeah.
Lowell George was one of the very first to suggest that, just forgetting A&R for a second, but sharing the wealth, if there were to be any, with writers, right? Normally you have bands, the biggest arguments, I can't hear the other guy playing, that kind of stuff, which sets in motion all kinds of havoc, is when you write songs. Who gets credit for it? Who does this? Well, Lowell said, look, whether I write a song or whether you and I, Bill, write a tune, we're going to split the publishing. We'll take our writer's share, but we'll split the publishing with Richie Hayward, with Paul Barrere, with whomever else is in that band that's contributing to that song.
Right.
I thought that was a good idea.
Until
you don't do it with people that if you're not in a band with them, I don't see any reason to do that. However, but in a band, it's a show of love to the other people in the group that they created Dixie Chicken, that create Rocket in My Pocket, that created Oh Atlanta, etc.
Yeah,
it's a good way to show them you care.
And it's like you take greed out of the equation because you're a band.
Yeah, you do, and yet people are greedy as human beings, right? So
exactly.
Band or not, you're still dealing with human beings. But I like the idea that 50 years later, and that's taken out the first 2 years. I've been Little Feat for 52 since 1969.
Yeah.
So, but Kenny Gradney, Sam Clayton are still in our band.
Yeah.
We lost Paul Barrere in 2019. Richie was before that. Lowell was way before that. But Fred Tackett, who was one of the very first people I met in Los Angeles, he got us our first paying gig in LA.
Really?
Yeah, it was for Jimmy Webb at Jimmy Webb's birthday party, who Fred was playing with in Encino, California. We were playing it. Oh, you did? Okay,
I
yeah.
Grew up, no, I don't live there. I live in Denver now, but I grew up in Topanga Canyon.
All right, so we always referred to Fred Tackett as the mayor of Topanga, which he wasn't.
He was.
We would never be.
I can see that.
He'd been there a long, long time. And I keep introducing him as like Fred Tackett from Arkansas. He cornered me the other night on the road. He says, I've lived in LA for like a long, long time. I said, well, okay, I'll introduce you that way. But I got to mention Arkansas, man, because you still got the accent. You're still,
right.
From Arkansas. Listen, I was born in Texas. I only lived there for 2 years. But all my relatives were from there. Once a Texan, always a Texan.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. And I embrace it just because.
Go back to this.
My nose and people down there. I don't care.
Go back to Fred giving you that first show in LA. I want to hear that.
We up to that point had been playing like a speakeasy in Los Angeles. So it was filled with women. I assume they were nice girls, nice women, who exchanged their love for perhaps remuneration of some sort with these businessmen that were there.
Right.
And we would come in to play music, and we certainly had our share of the women down there without paying them anything.
Yeah.
We were having a ball, but we weren't being paid for it.
Right.
But we were allowed a space to play. And when Elliot Ingber from the Mothers of Invention came in, we do a song like Rototone and have all these crazy antics. And these businessmen could have cared less. I mean, they're gambling, they're doing the whole nine yards. So that was the atmosphere of Little Feat at that time. Fred comes and says, hey, I got a legitimate gig for you at a birthday party. Right. It pays well. And it's for Jimmy Webb, who I know you guys probably know him too.
For sure.
So it was like this kind of Bing Crosby clam bake at Jimmy's place in Encino, and there we were. And it was the very first gig where we were actually paid money to play. It was fun.
That's so badass. So what was LA like back then? I mean, were you guys all living out there? What was the vibe like? Was it just a bunch of pussy and cocaine and just the wild shit, or like we all hear about, or was it really like you guys were focused and dialed in?
And magnify that times 100. Exactly what you described is what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. It was like the Wild West. It didn't last very long.
Yeah.
But it was intense. We were not focused. I'll give an example. We did live together. I wrote a song called Cat Fever. I was living at Lowell's house, and Patty, one of the Price sisters, came in. Their mother was Lulabelle, who sang on The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Yeah.
A real high part. She sang on Star Trek. Ooh, You know, that's his old Hollywood, right? So I had to sleep in Lowell's van. Well, Terry Melcher had been over at Lowell's house and spoke to both of us in and around that time period, right?
Right.
And he was talking to us about a record deal. And we're going, oh, this would be cool. And I got to go to Europe. When I come back, we'll finish the discussion. He left the next day or the day after the LaBianca family was murdered, right in and around that. Sharon Tate and those people were murdered. And guess who they were looking for? Terry Melcher. This is the Manson crew, right?
What?
I'm not kidding you. They were looking for him because he didn't give Charles Manson a record deal. They murdered that guy.
Oh my God.
That's how crazy things were.
Did you ever meet Charles Manson?
No, nor I want to, but there was a guy, some poor soul, and I was sleeping on the beach. Before I joined Little Feat, I was sleeping on a beach called Haskell's, which now has a big fancy hotel up on it. But it was a pier, a surf spot, and about a week, maybe 2 weeks after I got off that beach, there was some guy, crazed person with an axe, killing people on the beach that were sleeping there at night.
Yeah,
I dodged that bullet and that axe, I guess.
Holy shit!
You know, people were taking LSD, but they were taking it, and somebody had a great idea of mixing speed with it, which just completely freaked certain people out. It would have freaked anybody out. So we went from the summer of love to just like murder, chaos, men walking on the moon. This is in '69.
This is insane. So once you start seeing the change of atmosphere in the scene, did it kind of freak you out, or were you so deep in the world that you couldn't really feel like you're just digging yourself a deeper hole?
I felt I was completely freaked out by everything. I never wanted to live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But that's where Frank Zappa and the Mothers were. So I said, well, I tried being up north in Northern California, but that didn't work because I was just too naive I was just a kid. I didn't know who to approach. I lived with a band that was, they were basically drug dealers, and they had everything but talent. It was a very comfortable place, but they didn't know how to play, really.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that sounds like a drug dealer.
It's like a Dickinson tale. I'm going to be writing about this, by the way.
You got to, man. This is insane.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
And it's just, it involves Little Feat, but it involves this world that I grew up in that I was like a fly on a wall, and I still am to a degree. You know, I mean, I met Susan Tedeschi the other night in Florida. And she goes, this is our first formal meeting. She came down here to say hello to Amy Helm, Levon Helm's daughter, who's opening for her. And so this, you know, the scene I've always been involved in is mainly about music.
Yeah.
It's not about being a pop star or a rock star. A rock head is more the way I view myself. But the music element has always been very much intact. And it's the way most musicians think of themselves. You know, we can do something that we love to do. I mean, it's a cliche, but it's true. And the development of that love is really the key to how long we remain doing what we love to do.
Right.
People are prone to think of music and the business of music, which sheds an entirely different light on it. Now you're on the level of Naked and Afraid on TV.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I need to get some more lead on me. My genitals are showing.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Fuck it. I mean, what we're doing is making music.
Yeah.
How do we make that? I just ran into this guy named Adam Minkoff, who presented me with a record to listen to. It was a CD. This is it.
What record is it?
And it's about. I had it upside down, of course.
Oh, okay.
It's what it is. It's the rite of spring that this guy listened to, and by ear transposed for sax, for different saxophones, for different horns, for piano. And it's Stravinsky, right?
Yeah.
He's got a hell of an ear. I mean, he's a wonderful musician. And that's the kind of guy I kind of hold up. And he's a young guy, too. He's probably, I think he's your age. Yeah. What are you, like in your 20s, right?
Yeah, I'm 30.
Sorry, so 30. So he's a little bit younger than you, but not much.
Yeah.
And you're the guys that give me hope for the future of music, because it's a matter of people that care, that are smart, that the influences that influence their music are wide and varied. And it's what voice you decide to present to people is who you are as an artist.
True.
And rather than compress everybody into, I'm just I love George Jones, I'm just going to walk and do that kind of stuff. That'd be great,
right.
you know. But what else have you got? I mean, what else interests you?
True.
And taking people for a ride that love the ride of the influences, because what it does for them and what it does for all of us, it shows us the connection between things.
Right.
What's the connection between Eric Clapton and his music? We'll start with Sonny Boy Williamson. Oh, yeah, who's he? You check him out, see what he was doing.
Right.
It takes you through a river, if not mountains and vistas of music and personalities, of books, of music, of literally literature and food that you would never discover if you weren't dialed into it.
Yeah.
That's what makes life worth living. The chaos, we always have the chaos.
Right.
Let's get into stuff that's positive too, and reflect on that as well. That's what the human spirit and what the notion of being in a community is all about.
Right.
We're divided right now, but not all of us are divided.
No.
You know what I mean?
Let's Bill fucking Payne. That's what I'm talking about, dog. My
Ladies
dude.
and gentlemen.
You talk about like who gets inspired, like, you know, the story of the artist and like what they're listening to. What if you could say that about Little Feat, what was it? Who were you listening to? Who were the extensions that made Little Feat?
Well, we grew up in an era, they call it a golden era, right? The golden age of music.
Yeah.
So what I was listening to before I got into Little Feat was everybody from Ray Charles to Leon Russell, to Buffalo Springfield, Bob Dylan, acoustically and otherwise. The Fugs, the Holy Modal Rounders, Richie Hayward's band, which had in a movie Easy Rider, Don't Bogart that joint, The Mother's Invention. And that was just on the rock and roll side of things. You know, then you take it from Fats Domino. One of the first bands that was New Orleans styled stuff. I don't think they're from there, but it was called the Olympics. And they had a song called Big Boy Pete, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not familiar with that, I'm going to move this. I hope I don't screw anything up. I got a piano here.
Play it, Bill. Let's go, dude.
Let's see what we have here. So this is a piano I played on Emmylou Harris's first albums. And so the intro for that song I'm saying is that kind of thing.
Holy shit.
I'm in fourth grade, man. Listen to this stuff. I'm going, what is that? And just flipping out over it and not realizing that years later, I'd be playing in a group called Little Feat, and we would be playing some pretty hardcore New Orleans stuff.
Yeah.
And so, and blues and jazz and country. And we'd be playing what would take literally being in 9 to 10 bands to play.
Yeah.
But we were doing it under the umbrella of Little Feat, right?
Yeah.
So somebody was, I won't say who it was, but this guy was a little territorial about, well, he didn't say it to my face directly, but he told somebody, well, this is much later. Well, what's BIll Payne? He said, why are they playing New Orleans music? They're not from there. And I said, well, look, I played Mozart, okay? I'm not from Vienna, Austria.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I played Beethoven. I'm not from Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah.
I play some Bach, etc. Is it okay with? I'm not from any of those places. Is it okay with you if I play that stuff?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
I really hope it was Dr. John. Who said that?
No, it was not Dr. Listen, Mac Ravinak, man, I love that cat. We were at a gig. I don't even remember what it was, but they had 3 or 4 stages. Yeah. And he walked over to our place where we were playing to say hello because we'd known him a long time. And he says, "Hey, man, you want to sit in with my band?" And I go, "Yeah, I mean, of course. Well, what are you going to play?" He goes, "I'm going to play the guitar." And that's how Mac started out, was playing guitar. So he had me play piano on a couple songs, you know.
So
sick. What an honor to do that. And and he was one amongst the very first people I met in LA at Sunset Sound. I'm pretty sure Mac was there recording, probably, as was Randy Newman, as was Van Dyke Parks.
Right.
That's what I mean about that golden era of music and what we were listening to. At Lowell's house, the first time I went down there to meet him, his door was open. He lived in this rustic house off of Rowena in LA. And his little girl's a beautiful blonde girl, short blonde hair, is listening to Eric Satie. The door's open. She goes, yeah. "Oh, Lowell's expecting you. He'll be back in 4 hours." I go, "What does he do when he's not expecting you?"
Was that the character he was like? I need to know, Laurel, you guys are honestly one of my favorite bands. And growing up, you've inspired me and Shawn so much in our band. Like, we wanted to be you. Hearing your live records, I'm like, we want to be that tight. Give me your relationship with Lowell and like how you met and how you guys worked together as songwriters.
The way we met was what I was describing. I had to set up a meeting through Bizarre Records at Warner's to meet with him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't show up for 4 hours. After a little while, we split. So I'm looking at the back of his house. He's got like a samurai sword on the back wall. On the right-hand side, facing towards the backyard, there's a sitar in the corner. In his bookshelf, he had Last Exit to Brooklyn. He had poems by, I'm looking for the book now, Carl Sandburg. He had Howl by Ginsberg.
Yeah.
In his record collection, he had Lenny Bruce. He had Om by John Coltrane. He had Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf. He had this collection of music from the Smithsonian of chain gang music. And on that record was "Hey Lordy, join the band, Big Bull Rat gonna join the band," which is off of Waiting for Columbus. So all this stuff was there. So by the time Lowell showed up, I kind of felt like I knew him.
Right.
It was like Castro and what I've read about Castro and Che Guevara meeting each other the first time. They kind of talked about everything under the sun.
Yeah.
And we didn't start with the feet that night. It was about a month later we finally said, "Let's do this band."
Right.
But our relationship with songwriters was like, I said, well, we started off with like this weird eclectic. I mean, if you think it was eclectic now, or it was Dance of the Nubile Virgin Slaves, 10,000 Whips, Lost Coat. There's all these different kind of crazy songs.
Right.
We played them from Ahmet Erdogan, right? And Ahmet shuffled his feet. He didn't wear any socks. He had his loafers on. And I had no idea this guy had produced Ray Charles, or I would have been too embarrassed to talk to him. But he says simply, "Boys, it's too diverse." And we go, "Okay, Ahmet." And we go back to the drawing board and we start writing Brides of Jesus, Crazy Captain Gunboat Willie, Hamburger Midnight, Strawberry Flats,
oh my God.
Truck Stop Girl, all this stuff. So Truck Stop Girl was actually a legitimate tune that I talked to one of the Cats and the Birds about, because they recorded that song, right?
Yeah.
And I had been listening in high school to George Jones, Conway Twitty, because my girlfriend's Uncle Billy, who was this drunk guy that would get into fights and, at the bars and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff he listened to. And I never met him, but I started investigating that music, and I knew Lowell knew about those guys too. But I thought, let's bring that into the quotient. So I was telling somebody yesterday, listen to Willin' off the very first Little Feat record.
Yeah.
To my ear, it's like a caricature of what a truck stop person or driver would be. And then listen to it on Sailing Shoes. It's got that Floyd Kramer-esque piano.
Yeah.
It's more legitimately country music.
Yeah.
And I feel that's what I helped bring into this band, was a legitimacy, at least for that area of that music, to take it out of the caricature form. But it was a great song to begin with.
Totally. I mean, and then you could hear the difference between the recordings and your live records, and how the song takes shape after playing them, right?
That's right. And a lot of that was, we did a lot of rehearsing. We didn't rehearse like the traditional bands did. You run the song 100 times and play it. That's stuff you did in the studio, trying to learn stuff. I was also a top session player in LA at that time, as was Fred Tackett.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on so many records. Was that during the time? It's
I'm either really good or I can't hold a job. You know what I mean? So it's.
I love it.
But the rehearsal part of it, what we would do is we'd get really high, and we'd start smoking grass usually, and we would just start playing. We'd jam, right? And so there was one night we were doing this bass part that Kenny was playing. Doom, doo, doo, ba, doo, doo, boo, doo, ba, boom. That's the bass part to Time Loves a Hero. And I'm throwing that do, 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 do over the top of that stuff. And but we'd go off on these excursions, Andy, that were just fun. And there was one of those nights we're playing, I think it was for they had the dog races, and Paul and I start that song was put together also by little clips of things, right?
Yeah.
Of rehearsal tapes. We'd record stuff on a cassette, and but Paul and I went to this lick, da 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 da. We'd never played it before, and we're looking at each other going, "How do you know that I'm playing what you're playing? That you know that I'm doing it too?" And it was insane.
What do you think that is? Telepathically?
It was telepathic. It was like Uri Geller bending spoons and stuff.
Yeah.
And the minute we started to question it, then we fell out of the loop. But we held it long enough to be able to look at each other with this amazement and fear and delight in our eyes. That combination of like, this is like the mystery of life, and we're a part of it, right?
Yeah.
We have, as what a mystery would
what was making
would suggest.
What was making you fearful about it? It was too powerful?
It was powerful. It was crazy.
Yeah.
How were we doing it? I mean, I've had stuff in my life where I go, I was able to do things, but it didn't give me any second sight.
Right.
But it is. I don't think we ever want to lose the mystery of things.
No.
I don't think we ever will. That's what they're there for.
Right.
But they point to things that it's not like faith. Having faith in something is trying to prove something you can't you can't show, right?
Right.
This is something different.
Mm-hmm.
It is spiritual in a way, but it's not about proving anything. The proof is right there in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're powerless to do anything about it or describe how it happens or to do enough tests at any universities or elsewhere to define how you do it. If we could all do it, we'd be billionaires at the racetrack, for example.
Right. Or why are we overthinking it? Why can't we just live life without overthinking that part of it?
I think it's an excellent question. I don't have the answer for it, other than the fact that we're frail as human beings, and that's what we do. And the irony, Andy, is not only do we overthink things, we underthink things as well. True. I always put it in this form that we talk ourselves out of far more things than we talk ourselves into. Oh, I can't learn how to play the piano. Everybody in the world plays the piano. Yeah. You know?
What are some of the, do you remember one time you regret talking yourself out of something?
Yeah, there's, what would be one of the most egregious? Well, I didn't join the Rolling Stones in 1981. They asked me to do it.
Shut the fuck up. Bill, are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious, yeah.
Tell me this story.
Well, the story was, my life was in a very precarious place. It had to do with relationships more than anything.
Man, pussy, man.
Yeah, exactly. And pussy is undefeated, as they say.
Hell yeah, it is.
Later said it was either Willie Nelson or Merle Haggard.
Holy shit.
So there we were. And I also had another gig coming up with James Taylor, Jackson Browne, Linda Ronstadt, and I think J.D. Souther. That was in Japan. And I just didn't. I wanted to play with the Stones, but I just didn't feel I could.
Why not?
But had I played with them, I wouldn't have been able to put Little Feat back together either. So in that respect, I do kick myself a little bit in the ass, but I do also recognize that the way life works, it was probably better that I didn't do that gig. Ian McLaughlin wound up playing. It was on the Steel Wheels tour. He wound up playing on that, and later they had Chuck Lavelle, who I adore. I mean, he's a wonderful cat. And, we played on a record together in L.A. as a Johnny Holiday album. Johnny was like the equivalent of Elvis over in France. And I just played on a record in France. The first album I did to get it to go anywhere other than Albertsons up in Livingston, Montana, was I flew out of the country to the south of France to play with Eddie Mitchell. That was my second album with Eddie. And Eddie is a French artist. He's a few years older than I am. And he and Johnny Holiday were dear, dear friends. Yeah. So this guy's a big fixture in France as well, and a delight to work with. I work with a lot of French musicians over there, and a couple guys. The drummer was from L.A. Bernie Dressel. Oh, fantastic musician.
Oh, Bernie's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. His brother's, I think, if not the musical director for Jimmy Kimmel's show, he's certainly one of the musicians on there.
Yeah, he is.
So great cats, and this is just how I meet people. I live in Montana, so I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but I meet people and I'm introduced to things just like everybody else is. Somebody calls and says, "Hey, have you checked this out?" I go, "No, check this one out too while you're at it." I go, "Okay, cool."
So you're still a lover of music, even through all the ups and downs.
Well, yeah, I am. I mean, that Mozart I showed you, I've always used practice of Mozart to say if I'm sitting there going playing a song, maybe the best way is just to illustrate, right?
Yeah.
What's the old adage? Talking about music like singing about football.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, Bill.
So if I'm playing, let's see, I should probably have my glasses to do this properly, but I won't spend a lot of time doing it.
Sick. Fucking Bill Payne playing me piano. Let's go, dude.
Oh. So I'm playing this stuff, right? So I would go. I I go back to practicing again, right? So it was a.
Holy shit. Jeez, let's fucking go. Let's go.
So I got my facility to play crazy stuff from classical music, right? Yeah. But I had a teacher who said, let's not take the magic out of him to my mother. Let's let him play what he wants as well. I'll make sure he knows how to read music. And for any classical person hearing me butcher Mozart just then, they go, well, this guy doesn't read that well. It's a matter of finger memory, getting things under your fingers.
Right.
I play this stuff for the first few days after getting home off of a tour, and it sounds like Stockhouse, and then it eventually starts to sound like Mozart. But I'm taking a long-winded way to answer your question about why I love music. It's the challenge is always there with it, right? And the challenge is really what promotes us to continue to want to learn, to explore, to share that exploration with other players.
Yeah.
And having a band like Little Feat is like, I played with the Doobie Brothers for the last 7 years and loved every minute of it, to be honest with you. We're still very dear friends. But I've got my own band. Yeah. And Little Feat is a platform that I look everybody eye level. Tony Leone on drums. Right. I didn't even know the guy could sing.
It's crazy.
And so he sings some of these Paul Barrett tunes and he sings Richie's parts. And we've got a very good meld together. I told him the other night a song called Day or Night. I said, I like what you're playing. I want you to stretch out a little bit more before you bring it back down to the groove of the song. And one suggestion would be to take the other approach of, instead of hitting hard, back it off just a little bit and see where that exploration might take you. And so he did it on stage. And I said, nobody's going to get hurt, man. I was talking to one of those skiers, and I can't think of the cat. That it was an older gentleman that made movies on surfing and on skiing. I met the top guy in his skiing films who said, I got this sixth sense about if there's a rock that's underneath a glacier that I'm skiing down.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, man, I get that peripheral vision and that sense of like where the danger lies. We did the same thing musically, but we're not going to get killed doing it.
It's true. Talking about killing and death and stuff. I kind of want to go into this. You've dealt with a lot of death in your band. How hard was the first death?
Little George's death. Well, the first death for me, honestly, was when I was in high school, and it was our drummer, Red Livengood. Yeah. And Red reminded me a lot of Richie. He was from Iowa, as was Richie. He had this really crazy personality, as did Richie as well. But the poor cat had a brain tumor going on.
Oh man!
And was what was making him a little more eccentric and crazy? We don't know. But that death shook me. So by the time Lowell passed away, that dagger hits you every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With Lowell, it was like, I honest to God, I thought that guy was going to live years beyond what he did. I knew he was on a path of destruction, but I thought maybe he'll pull back out of it,
Yeah.
But he never did. And it was the thing about his death was I just kind of I wanted to produce an album, and that album was Down the Farm, and I quit the band over it because he didn't want me to produce it with him. Wow. I thought sometimes you got to be very careful what you ask for and what you wish for. I didn't wish any harm to Lowell. I mean, I love the guy, but I hated him too at that time. I really did, for what he was doing to himself, what he was doing to his family, and what he was doing to our family of Little Feat. But even at that, I suggested to him, look, man, you're going out on this tour, the very tour that he died on. I said, before you go, just think about this. If you want to keep Little Feat going, you don't have to have it with me. You can check the guys out, see if they want to still play or not. But give yourself a little bit of a break. Go out there, figure out what you want to do as Lowell George. Do you want to make produce a bunch of records? You seem to enjoy being in the studio, and that kind of thing. I just wanted to implant that thought with him because he was such a major talent, and that loss. I mean, God knows what he could have done, but what he did was staggeringly amazing.
Right.
And I want to get more of that word out to people rather than, well, the Monty Python skit. We built the castle, and then the castle sunk into the briar, and from the briar. That happened to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Brian Jones. That's an old story.
Yeah. You know, talk about legacy. Everyone thinks about the bad stuff, but like in the long game of it, it's the art that sticks around. You know, and
that's exactly right. So,
what were the feuds like? What was like you were starting to get irritated with him? Were you frustrated that he wanted to go solo, or what was that like?
Oh no, no. But a lot of people were blaming Paul Barrere and I on his going solo, and that it was affecting Little Feat. And I said, well, look, consider the fact that it took him 5 years to make that solo record.
Right. Right.
How did we impede that? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
What they say in Spanish, despierta, wake up. You know, I mean, it's people get too romantic about this stuff.
And everyone wants to blame someone else.
Done it. You know, it's easy.
And it's easier to blame someone else than ourselves.
Yeah, it sure is. So, but you know, the fights were about music. They were about direction, and they were also because we were high and we were young.
Yeah,
you know, we were just we were not focused on things. We didn't know enough about ourselves to. I mean, I guess that's. I don't guess. This is what life is about: is taking the time to figure out who you are, right? Yeah. And we got all kinds of ways to dull our senses. And I'm not talking about drugs now. I'm just talking about the normal things in life where we don't take responsibility for things. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't make it as a musician because, you know, nobody thought I was any good. Well, have you listened to what you were playing? You know, that kind of thing. I mean, come on, man. Where's the tone? How long did you spend practicing or working on it? Yeah. We think John Coltrane did
all day.
All those cats, man, they sit there and they work on their craft, right?
Right.
It's not like playing a video game. You have to actually work on it, and you have to work on video games too.
Yeah.
So no matter where do you want to expend that energy and time, but the blame part of it is so human. I just.
Do you think the blame is just your ego trying to have a softer palate to fall on?
Yeah, cushion. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. But I think for those people that it's like the terrible twos, you know, with little kids.
Yeah.
I think it's a stage, and if the way I look at it with people, I don't care if they're dreaded politicians or anybody. I try and look at who are they hanging out with. Who did they surround themselves with? Who did John Lewis surround himself with, as opposed to Donald Trump or Ted Cruz or any of these idiots?
Yeah,
I mean, there's where the core of that man was who he hung out with.
It's true.
Starting with Martin Luther King Jr.
Right.
And you just go on from there. And there's where the integrity lies. That's where the notion that you're going to crawl through glass and barbed wire to get to something that's important to you.
Yeah,
that shows the man. It shows the woman. It shows the person's character.
Mm-hmm.
What are they willing to endure and to sacrifice? And then, what's the end game? Is it solely to help themselves, or does it help a lot of other people?
Yeah, it's so true. Who are you guys hanging out with that you felt in the beginning years that felt like you guys were simpatico? What bands were your friends?
Well, I wasn't necessarily friends with these guys, but I mean, with the Mothers of Invention, the early guys there. We had Roy Estrada in our band. Was our first bass. I mean, out of 14 bass players, Roy was the cat we wound up with, right? So, so Roy Estrada was one of the guys, but Roy stumbled. He's in jail for the rest of his life, unfortunately. Yeah, bad stuff. But anyway, yeah, it was just other musicians. It was I was down at Musso Frank's, one of the oldest restaurants in Hollywood, right? Mm-hmm. I was hanging out with some cats that were the waiters, the mozos down there. And there's this guy, Wilbur, and Wilbur said, "You want to know how to order like water properly, like in a nice way?" And I said, "Oh yeah, like instead of like tráigame más agua por favor." He says, "Yeah, me podría dar más agua por favor." And what me podría dar means is, when you have a moment or when you can I have this? It's just a polite way to do it. And that guy was such a gentleman, and but he lived in a violent part of Hollywood. He ran into the back of somebody's car. That kid came out with a knife and stabbed him to death.
Oh my God!
2 to 3 blocks from Musso Frank's.
Yeah,
I had a bunch of guys that when I was driving down there, and I had that part of my midlife crisis where I got like a race car kind of thing, you know.
Oh, you bought a nice whip, Bill?
I got a nice one, man. And
what'd you have, dog?
Oh man, I can't remember now. It was I got it without the power boost or whatever they call it. I don't know a lot about cars, but this thing could jump, right? If you hit the gas and hit the clutch properly, that car could literally jump off the ground.
Holy shit!
I was driving into Musso Frank's, and before I got there about 5 or 6 vatos, the bad guys, came in front of my car, and there's one particularly tall guy, and he's like looking at me. I have my sunglasses on, and so I'm sitting there looking at this cat, just him, because he was the most threatening of the lot.
Yeah,
and he's like pointing at me and doing this and that, and by zero expression, and knowing that Wilbur had been murdered, that there was another guy up the street that had been killed, I knew it was a tough place. But I'm in this vehicle that if I punch that thing rather than back and reverse, I'd run his ass down, probably kill him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it. Yeah. But it was like that "do you feel lucky" punk kind of moment.
Yeah,
and he got that vibe, and he and the people they went away.
Yeah.
I very slowly started up the car, went down a half a block, turned into Musso Frank's, and had a very nice lunch.
Like, don't fuck with me, kid.
Not fuck with me, man. I'm not a killer, but I don't want to be fucked with. Please, not today.
You talk about life experience and like how you learned from that, you know, from Lowell dying when you were younger. Now let's bring it to 2010 when Richie Hayward died. What did you learn from that, and how heartbreaking was that for you?
I wrote a 10,000 word essay on Richie, which you can find at BillPayneCreative.com.
I'll be there.
And what I'll explain about it was I took Richie from his inception coming to LA to his death. And this guy was somebody, I won't give away the whole plot, but what the kind of person he was, Andy, was he would come off every night and go, "How was I? How'd I do?" And some nights I go, "Yeah, man, you were great." I mean, he might have been, he might not have been, but, and then I go, "You weren't that good tonight. You couldn't hear what was going on." So there was one time in Rochester, New York, Steve Gadd was at the gig.
Yeah.
Most of the drummers in that area were at the gig. He came off, he said, "How was I?" I said, "You know how you were, and you were having problems up there. So I'm going to tell you a couple of things. One's going to hurt, but I want to help you. So I'm also going to try and help. So hear me out. The thing that's going to hurt is that Steve Gadd was in the audience, and his heart just sunk, man." I said, "But look, Gadd's a musician. He knows not everybody has a great night.
Yeah.
And even with you not having a great night, you're still play some great stuff." here's what I want to say to help you, and this might help some other musicians that are listening to this, by the way. I said, look, when we get up on stage and we don't have the facility just yet, if it's early in the set or whatever, we come in and we can't quite hit what we're trying to play, then back it down. Simplify what you're trying to play a little bit until you get your sea legs, till you get to where you're acclimated to your instrument, and then start going for it. The other thing I strongly suggest is that you have your monitors way too hot. You want to hear, the common mistake is to bring the volume of your monitors up on stage, bring them down.
Yeah.
Give yourself room, play a little lighter, not much, play just a little bit lighter. And I heard him play like that when Willie Dixon was asked him to play softly.
Yeah.
At a rehearsal for a gig with John Lee Hooker that we were playing at Madison Square Garden.
Holy
I never heard Ricky Hayward play that softly in my life. So I knew he could do it.
Jesus.
Well, Dixon was a boxer, man. At any rate, so that's a sort of story I tell about Richie. I want to dig into it and let people know who he was. He was one of the most extraordinary musicians I've ever known. His heart and his feel and his touch were he played. He got his Elvin Jones was who he studied. He didn't study with literally, but he loved Elvin's cymbal work.
Yeah,
he loved the cat played with Mitch Mitchell, who played with Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
Mitch Mitchell adored him. Jeff Porcaro, Carlos Vega, they all adored Richie Hayward. And he did them as well. So I know we're getting toward the end of this, but getting back to the community of things, it was a perfect example of how community works. And that's all I was telling Richie. Don't let it freak you out. Embrace it.
Yeah.
But here's some tools to help you get to where you want to go.
Right.
And so the last gig, I'll let you read about that, but it was really, his death shook me. I still think about him. He was one of those guys who would say, Andy, like, hey, you ain't from around here, do you? That kind of thing. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Well, somebody's told to him, what's the name of your orchestra, Sonny? I mean, he's from Iowa. That place is flatter than a whatever. And he, there's a lot beneath. When you look at your feet, you're going to see a lot of things.
Right.
Prairie Earth by William Least Teat Moon describes Kansas in that fashion. Sometimes we have to look to our feet to see what's beneath us. And Richie was certainly one of those guys that did that. And he had a lot of depth as a human being, but he was such a crazed individual that you had to put that into the quotient as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very interesting guy. I absolutely miss him to this day.
Oh, well, rest in peace, guys. I have two more questions for you, if you don't mind. Sure. The first one is, you talk about looking, downward, seeing what happened in the past. Is there anything you regretted not saying to Lowell and Richie before they passed away?
No. Lowell gave me an extraordinary opportunity, which was just, we took a couple days and he just sat there and listened. He says, I want you to share with me whatever it is you think of me or whatever you need to say to me. And I did. I told him, man, I love you. I fucking hate you for what you're doing with this. This is what I love about you.
Yeah.
I think you're incredible. Your phrasing is monstrous. I think that's where your real strength is as a singer and as a player, is your phrasing. Your tone is obviously great too. You're a brilliant songwriter. You're this and that. You're in the habit of taking 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Right.
It's maddening. You split. You disappear for days on end. I said, I get it, but why are you doing this to yourself? That's why I want to get out of here. I know I've been a pain in the ass, literally and figuratively, to you. Maybe if I'm not there to call you on so many things, you won't feel that pressure anymore.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Shit.
Richie and I also had the opportunity to talk to one another, and it was a different kind of talk. It was more about, look, we know you're going down, and we know that like with Neon Park, who's our artist, we'll know when we're not going to be talking to each other. But at our shows, there's a montage of photos of the old band, of at least the new band, and there's a photo of Richie that my wife took when we were in Vancouver Island, and it's Richie, and it's not a photo like this where it's raked, and it looks like he's almost like riding a horse. And he's beaming at the camera, and he's in full motion with playing the drums. This beatific smile on his face, and the energy that was there with Richie. And when he got off stage, he was like collapsed in his heap. He was shivering. He lasted another 2 weeks, and he died. But Polly caught that moment of him that said who he was as a player, as a human being, and that joy that he got from playing the drums.
Yeah. That's fucking beautiful, man. That's crazy. It's heavy shit, man. Bill, thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I know you're a busy dude. You got that life in Montana. And it's amazing. Hey, we're playing together at summer camp that same night. We should get a hang in.
We should, man. Are you kidding? Go.
Oh yeah, it's going down. And you could talk to Fred. Fred is a big. I mean, I have a lot of roots in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Fred, shares. He lives in Eureka Springs, I think, right, and Topanga Canyon. He's got two of those houses. Right. Yeah. So
right.
Yeah, Shawn, my guitar player, sits in with you guys a bunch, but we should definitely do something fun at summer camp together, man. I think it'd be great.
We should. Oh, well, let's organize it, Andy.
Yeah, I'll get your contact. I'll get your contact from Fred, and let's organize something because I play keys too. It'd be fun to do some stuff together.
Oh my gosh! Okay, we'll figure that out quite easily.
Oh man, Bill Payne, thank you so much for being part of the show. Can't wait to see you at summer camp, and thank you for honestly. I'll say this again. You're one of my favorite bands. Little Feat has inspired my band, and it's inspiring to just finally get to talk to you about music, life, and death. I appreciate that.
I'll tell you what, man. I really, really enjoyed meeting you today, and I look forward to seeing you.
I can't wait.
Seeing you soon.
Keep practicing that Mozart, baby. I'll talk to you soon.
Will do. Later, okay.
Later.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye. All right, and we're back. We have an alumni of summer camp in the show tonight as well, being one of our, co-hosts. Is a nice word. Yeah. We got Dave fucking Bruzza in the hot seat.
Let's go. Let's go with guest star.
Guest star.
I like guest star.
You're so nice.
I love it.
I'm a very nice person. That's what I'm known for.
Making me feel my head's just exploding.
Dave is here because like Tupac Shakur, our boy Dave Bruzza is going solo. He's got a solo record coming out.
That's so funny that you say that because when I hear the word Dave Bruzza, the first person I think of is Tupac Shakur.
I've been compared to Tupac many times, so it's a comfortable space for me.
I love it. I'm loving it. He's got a new record, and we are going to premiere it today.
Yeah, I'm down. I love music.
What an honor! Thank you so. You could have gone to anyone. You came to me, and I'm fucking thankful for that.
Well, I couldn't think of a better place to do this.
I love it. Well, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
What's the record called?
It's called The Heart of Santa Cruz.
Heart of Santa Cruz.
It's kind of a tribute to my bass player, Mike Duvall, since he lives in Santa Cruz.
Oh, bud.
And I couldn't think of anything, living in Colorado, very surfy. So I just went
it's surf music.
It's all instrumental surf rock.
Nice.
Which...
Like Dick Dale kind of vibes?
Yeah. Like the Ventures, that kind of vibe. It was just something that I was doing during the pandemic. I was trying to get my recording chops.
Yeah.
I knew how to record records, but never really took a look under the hood. So I was making experiments in my apartment, and I wrote a bunch of instrumental surf rock for fun. And then 2 of the songs were pretty cool. And I've never put anything out on my own. It's always been with Greensky, or I've been a guest on a record. So this was the first time I've ever written, recorded, and I've performed all the instruments. I play all of them, and I'm pretty excited.
putting your dick out on the table, big dog.
I made a solo record and Andy didn't care at all.
Just kidding. It was really horny and sexy.
Yeah, some little sax on there.
Dave, that's okay. So there's a couple things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
What got you into like surf rock music?
Well, at that time, I was just listening to a lot of old rootsy rock and roll, and it just kind of spoke to me. You know, I was really interested in it and kind of did some research. And then, you know, when I was trying to do these experiments just to get myself more familiar with recording software, it just kind of came out like that. And I've always kind of enjoyed it, but I took a deeper dive. Also, it was, you know, I was in the beginning of my sobriety.
Yeah.
And like that was something to, you know, occupy some time and space. So I couldn't, you know, just kept myself busy, you know.
And this is like kind of like a landmark in time where it was the beginning of sobriety, and those thoughts and all those, you know, all those things that we were distracting ourselves with is out, and you put it out in this music.
Yeah, I think that was better to spend my energy and time doing this project than for me to keep drinking and stuff, you know. So
fucking guy, let's go. And he's happy, and
I'm very happy.
I feel like you're just glowing these days, dude. Last two, I feel like you're really just like owning the sobriety. You're owning who you are as a person, and you're just being confident enough to even put out a fucking solo record. It's so hard to put a solo record out.
It is, and you know, I didn't know the amount of work that put into making a record because we have a whole team that does that, and like.
You're like, damn.
Every inch, I'm like, oh, that's the price tag. Oh, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
But it was totally worth it. It was fun to like, you know, check out the process on my own. And it was, it's something that I've always wanted to do as a musician because I've always been a multi-instrumentalist, and it's something I've, you know, kicked around like I should make a little record just for fun. And then this is what happened. And I think my favorite part of the whole project is I'm only releasing this for the time being on a 7-inch 45 RPM.
Let's go.
Record.
Going old school all day.
It's this is what the music should be heard on.
Yeah.
I love it.
And for the time being, I got a tour coming up in a couple days with my band Unsafe at Any Speed, my side project through the Midwest, and this is where you can get the record.
Are you doing these songs with that band, or is it
we're going to
different?
play these songs? Yeah. I think it's going to be cool. The guys that I have in the band are all fantastic players, and it's nice to have some other. You know, I like that Unsafe at Any Speed kind of stands on its own legs. I'm always Dave from Greensky. I'm proud to be Dave from Greensky, but it's nice to go down different avenues and, you know, experiment with different types of music. Like I don't bring an acoustic guitar on this tour.
Oh, you don't?
No
what do you
shit.
I just play electric guitar.
Electric?
Yeah.
And you sing
Which one you bringing? You bringing the Strat?
Oh, yeah. I'm bringing my Strat, I'm bringing my Telly, and then I got a great band, you know, always Mr. Jimmy.
I have a couple questions about this. Is there pressure, do you feel like, having to play a Greensky song during that set?
The Unsafe stuff?
Yeah.
You know, people, I think, are looking for it. And the first time I went out with it a couple of years ago, there's a lot of stuff that I do in Greensky. And then as it evolved, it turned into a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Then I have some other songs I've written that are, you know, just this rock and roll thing, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like to do it because it gives it a different vibe with these players versus my band.
So you played some Greensky songs with the band?
Yeah, we've done a couple of Paul songs too.
Which ones?
We did I'd Probably Kill You, which like, we did it like a funk kind of vibe.
Sick.
That's cool.
We can get saxophone on that sometime.
Let's do it, man. Call me.
You know, we do a little bit of everything though, and it's a lot of you know, I do a lot of covers I don't get to do in Greensky. And
that's cool.
It's just nice because this lineup is, you know, we have 2 electric guitars and a bass, keys, and drums.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool to like kind of reinvent songs you already written in the past.
Yeah, that is
kind of like fun to like. Because like maybe the lyrics still mean so much to you, but maybe you want to just spice up like a little bit of the rhythm or spice up the tune a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely been some changes in the Greensky material that I play in this project, and it's a cool vibe for sure. It's nice just to relax for me too.
I feel like, isn't it crazy? The more successful you get in your band, the more pressure there is every show.
Yeah, it's a little daunting, but I think I'm kind of leaning into just. You know, Greensky's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm real comfortable with where we're at. And, you know, I couldn't ask for anything more than I've had. I mean, I love what I've gotten to do. I mean, that's how we got to meet.
Exactly.
You know, you came out on tour with us and we had a great time. And it's a fun thing. And not trying to be cliche, but yeah, I'm blessed, man. I'm thankful every day and grateful every day for what I get to do. Yeah, and I'm happy that Mr. Guido Batista is going to come out to these shows.
Shut the fuck up! He's TMing?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Let's go! You're bringing in all the enforcers. Okay, I got a couple questions. Do you get nervous?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I get nervous with Greensky. I get nervous right now. I get nervous.
Yeah.
But like healthy nervous.
Yeah. Like I think if you're not getting a little bit nervous, then you might be too cold.
Some people might call that caring.
Do you think pitchers are like that?
I like that. I care a lot. Before, especially like my solo stuff, because in Greensky, I'm very comfortable being number 2, number 3, number 4, whatever. I like that. I can lean on my guys. My guys can lean on me.
Hell yeah.
And it's we've been playing together for so long. It's just that's a machine. The unsafe stuff, it's unsafe. It's we get together and Michael Shimon and then Mr. Jimmy, we've played together a lot, so they got the stuff down, and Jeremy and Justin are gonna just fall right in, I believe.
The people want to know: are you going to be taking pictures of your Jordans on this tour?
Are you a Jordans guy?
He is. He's a shoe collector.
That kind of happened.
I love it.
Quit drinking, you start buying stuff.
The funny thing is, I get these as gifts from people a lot.
I want gifts.
Yeah, dude. He gets gifted so many like rare Jordans.
They're not rare, I wouldn't say.
Oh, your black ones
talented.
with the black and whites with the red.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet.
Who gave you those?
Don't blow the spot.
I'm not going to blow up the spot. But
like a store gave it to you?
No,
a friend.
Oh, a homie. Okay.
I had a homie hook me up with the Grateful Dead
dunks.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know. I knew that people, the fuzzy ones, they're like these.
They're worth like $1,500.
Yeah, that's what, I think Don Strasberg, I wore them at Red Rocks last fall.
Stay out of his pockets, okay, Gerlach? Don't even worry about that.
I'm in his pockets.
They were making fun of me.
I'm going to be right in there. I'm going to be in his pockets.
That's cool. We can be friends.
Yeah.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Friends.
I was just saying how Don Strasberg commented on my, wow, Bruzza's walking out in these thousands of dollars worth of shoes. It was really...
So invited Justin Bieber to the show.
Yeah, Strasburg, because Greensky's popping, baby. Let's go, making that money.
I think he knows they're popping. They do like 3 nights at Red Rocks every year.
Yeah, we've been friends with Don for a long time.
I think they have a good business relationship, actually.
Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah,
that little place.
Yes.
Well, let's get to it. Let's listen to one of these songs. Yeah. Okay, what's this first song about? Let's do the first track on the 45.
So they're instrumental?
They're instrumental.
That's why I was asking about you singing Greensky.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Greensky sang. This was just, I wanted to try it. And
hell yeah.
There is a sample. I have this old record about heart oscillation. So I was hanging out with Chris Pandolfi, and he was teaching me how to like rip stuff from vinyl because I have a USB out of my turntable. Sure. So that was just a fun addition. This thing starts with that, and it's called Heart of Santa Cruz, and it's dedicated to my bass player and friend Mike Duvall.
Oh, nice, buddy. God, you are so sweet. Let's listen to Dave Bruzza, Heart of Santa Cruz.
That was great.
Nice.
It is the purpose of this record to describe and illustrate the majority of sounds and murmurs which may be heard in normal and pathological hearts.
Hell yeah. You did drums?
That's just a snare hi-hat. Next track is a flip kit.
No acoustics?
No acoustic guitar here at all.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. I almost put saxophone on it. Perfect.
See, I'm young. See, I got young energy. Hell yeah.
I feel like I'm in that thing you do.
Yeah. That's the era.
I fucking love it, dude.
That's one of my favorite movies, actually.
Well, let me keep listening.
Yeah, you can't not do that. It's pretty authentic to like that era.
What were you gonna say, Dave?
I was just saying it's just authentic early 60s instrumental.
Yeah.
It's fucking badass.
Thanks.
Julie's gonna like this.
Hold on, let me keep listening.
Ooh, another key change.
Just a nice little counter melody. Just a nice little counter melody.
Oh, yeah.
Rounds it out. And there's a nice sample at the end, and so there's wait for this.
A list of recommended references is provided on the cover for those who wish to investigate this interesting subject more intensively.
Let's fucking go, Bruzza!
Nice.
That's gotta be a trip, dude. You did the whole thing.
Yeah, it is. It's wild to think that it's just me playing to a click track on 3 different guitars, bass, and then some drums. I'm looking forward to digging into it.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for you. This is gonna be fucking badass, dude.
I'm pumped.
Okay, so I gotta ask. You got this lifestyle now, Dave. You're a big rock star. You're a big rock star. You go out here, you get on a tour bus, you do your thing.
Oh, we're in a van for this.
That's what I'm saying. So how are the vibes gonna be? You're gonna be back in the van.
You need
baby.
a rental.
Yeah, we're renting vans. We got you, bud.
I'm not doing shit.
You're helping me. Starting a rental business.
No, I'm excited. I just asked I have a little crew and everything. I'm just like, as long as I don't have to drive, I'm fine.
Hell yeah. Let's go. And your own hotel room, Dave.
No, I'll split.
Ooh,
I'll share a room.
Wow, Andy. Wow.
I mean, it's tough.
Don't get any ideas, Bo. I still want my own room, okay? Thank you.
Well,
there's an odd man now. So
different. It's a different world touring right now. Gas is expensive.
We were just talking
hotels
about
are expensive. Like, I've been budgeting the tour and like, wow, this is getting kind of close. And like, I'm not worried about making the money. I just want to go out there and do this.
Fun.
After the past couple of years, we've all had, fuck all that. I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
I want to go out there for myself, and I want to go out there for the people that like my music and like to come see me play.
that's a great way to end up making money later too.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean.
It'll be fine. Like when it's all over, I'm sure it's going to be okay. If I lose money, I don't really care.
Right.
I don't want to, but this is more important. Is getting out there since everyone's kind of reemerging in the world. And, I have a little bit of a break. And so I filled it with everything I could possibly do.
Yeah, let's go. I'm so excited for this record. I'm so excited for you.
Thanks.
And, like you said, the reason why we're doing a solo project is to have fun.
Yeah.
And to play music and not stress about the big machine that is Greensky, because you think about it all the time. And for you to say, okay, I know I'm not going to make money. It's just going to be fun. And I just want to be stress free about it. It's the best attitude.
Yeah, it's good. And then, every time I've done one of these tours, I find that I bring something new back for Greensky.
Yeah.
In my own playing. I learned something on any tour I go on.
Yeah.
Any tour I go on. Because we always like to curate a good time. So we've always had opening acts. We love that. And that's how we get to pick who we want, and that's how we,
that's how we
brought
became
Andy.
friends.
Oh, you guys toured together? Okay.
Yeah, we had Andy out in
we became buddies
2019 or 18,
right before the pandemic.
How many shows did you guys?
You did
do?
about 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 2
Oh,
weeks.
so enough to get to know each other.
To get to hang.
Yeah, we were hanging and having a good time.
I always used to be scared of Dave because Dave used to just
Dave's
smoke
kind of
cigarettes.
intimidating. You are a little intimidating.
By the bus,
Is
by
it the
himself.
mustache?
I don't know. You're just like
I'm kind of a loner.
You would hide by the bus by yourself, smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
I knew you didn't
loners
want
are
anyone to talk to, but I knew that was my only time to say hi because I know you'd be.
Oh, we hit it off though.
We fucking hit it off like
because you are a nice guy.
You're a fucking
Thank you.
badass.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I spent the whole pandemic with this dude.
I remember he brought wings that one time.
Yeah,
that was a fun day.
I love
We
wings.
played a lot of board games
we
over
played
here.
board games
Oh,
at
yeah?
the house.
Yeah. Well, I used to live about a mile from here
Yeah.
before I
Oh,
moved
right.
back to Cap Hill. And so Andy and I, of course, I was still drinking back then. So
We were hanging
come
out
over-
a little more than we used to.
Yeah, it was
Andy's
fine.
good. He's a good person to hang out when you're still drinking. You know?
I've been doing good. We hang out now. You're sober, and I don't.
I always
love
love getting a chance to see you. I mean, those days, the epic game of Risk was.
Oh, yeah.
I love Risk.
Well, Dave, we're really excited for you, and I'm so happy to just fucking be here in Denver. I'm so happy. I was worried. I thought we were going to lose you to Chicago. But our boy's here.
I'm sticking here.
Good. Well, you'll be making so much money off the solo record. You'll be buying a house in Chicago too. Right. So that's
the thing. With
that's definitely the climate of the music industry right now.
Yeah, everyone wants a 7-inch 45 single.
Surf rock is coming back, people.
I mean,
before we do side B, because we'll close with that, because this is a summer camp episode.
Yes.
As an alumni of summer camp, what was your favorite moment of summer camp?
Oh my God.
You've done it a lot, right?
We've done a lot. We've played I think we've played every stage except for the Red Barn.
Shit.
I think that's the only thing we haven't done.
What's the smallest one you did?
We did like way back in the
campfire
day.
The campground.
Well, no, we did it was still just the campfire outside of the Red Barn. And it was literally just like a campfire.
Yeah.
Remember, like, man, this is years and years ago.
Holy shit.
But we'd start at like 3 a.m. and it was, I mean, I've had so many epic times dodging tornadoes and getting rained on or being fried.
2013.
I
was there.
But, and I think the last time we were there, it was us, then Phil Lesh and friends, and then Anders played with Phil for the night, and that was fun. I loved standing side stage and watching Anders' eyes just so big, and you know we've played with Phil before, and just to see Anders up there having a good time and meshing, you know, summer camp's always amazing. So great.
Did you ever make it to Stasick's kickball tournament at 4 a.m.?
You know,
6 a.m.
I have definitely been
not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
I woke up early to do these things.
Yeah. You went to bed at 8 o'clock. Oh, look at here! My cup of coffee's ready.
Bluebirds twittering outside the
my
window.
kickball game.
I've seen some photographs of me up at dawn.
I'll jump off the balcony.
Want to do side B?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll hear it first on the World Saving Podcast. Dave Bruzza, Pearl Street Lounge. This is fun. I like premiering songs like this.
We should do this more often.
This is good.
I love it.
Yeah, but what if you didn't like it though? It'd be awkward.
It'd be so awkward. It's like your band sucks.
That's the thing. You gotta have people where you like their music.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is cool. I think this song grows and
yeah. No, I'm just saying it would suck to have to like premiere someone's record and you like don't like it.
That would be awkward.
Yeah.
I would have sex to this song. FYI, this is a sexy song.
That's quite an endorsement, Andy.
Yeah, no problem. Let's keep listening.
And that's a 1960 Stratocaster that I play on.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yours?
Yeah. I got lucked out on
You got a lot of guitars?
I've been liquidating lately, but
yeah, but you're a guy. You got a guitar guy. You know, you got a lot of guitars.
Got a lot of guitars.
They're good assets. They don't really. They hold their value.
Yeah, they increase.
Saxophone's the same way. Kind of like a blues, huh?
I like this.
Yeah, it's loungy.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like Tom Waitsy.
I like the spring reverb.
Yeah,
it's like right off the amp. You can tell.
Here's the unfocused part I was referencing.
Oh, let's listen.
This would be awesome to like a movie, like
I think someone might
scoring some kind of like comedy film or something on the desert, or you know what I mean?
Totally.
Some sort of slow-moving, character-driven comedy, sort of, with a quirky main character.
Here's where it starts to hit.
I think it's tight.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, no one's arguing that it isn't.
Sorry. Keep listening.
Well, the way you said it sounded like we were like, I don't like
I thought you were questioning it.
No, I was saying
no. Let's keep listening.
Yeah, this next big A's gonna. There's some more interplay in this next section here with drums and guitar. Here comes the beef, man. This is. Tell you. Listen to the lead and the drums here. This is the best part of the whole tune.
I would enjoy drinking.
Oh, here it comes right here. There you go.
So fucking awesome. Damn it, I wish you were. That was so funny.
Fucking it. Dave.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Dave, I'm so excited for this. And I'm happy that you are pushing this, and I'm happy that, you know, you're I say it a lot, but putting it out there.
Yeah.
And just getting this out there.
Thanks.
So I love you, bud. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
For being part of the show.
Good to have a rock star on the show.
I know, finally. Fucking finally.
You guys.
I love having rock stars at the house, just sitting on that couch.
Dave, well, if you work hard, like Andy was saying, as a band, you too could sit on Andy Frasco's couch.
Let's go! Let's go! See, friends hyping friends up. That's how we should live like this. Not this fucking troll bullshit, okay?
Agreed.
Friends hyping friends up. We love you. All right, enjoy summer camp and go buy Dave's record. It's going to be out in 2 days, right? Friday?
On the 12th, yeah.
On the 12th,
and
2
playing
days.
Ferndale, Michigan at Otis Supply that day.
Yeah, do the whole week.
The whole week. So we got the 12th, Ferndale, Michigan, Otis Supply. 13th up in Cadillac, Michigan at Coyote Crossing. Ooh. Great spot. The 13th, I'll be at Bell's, my hometown of Kalamazoo.
Hometown show, baby.
And then let's see here, 15, 16. The 17th, I'm at the Evanston Space in Evanston, Illinois. Yeah.
Oh, that's like the jazz club kind of vibe, yeah?
I've never been there. Okay. It's great.
It's the same person, Castle Theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then on the 18th, I'm in St. Paul at the Turf Club.
Oh,
and
shit.
then the 20th, I'll be at Bluegrass in the Bottoms, the festival in Kansas City.
With that band?
Yep. And then the 21st, I end the tour at the Old Rock House in St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, Dave, good luck with everything. Have a great tour. Be safe.
Thanks, Andy.
Drink water.
Yes, lots of water. Bubble
Eat
water.
some bomb food. Eat some bomb food.
Yeah. Get some hot dogs in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, Dave, I'm happy for you. Thank you for coming to the house to promote the record. And let's go have dinner when you get back from this tour.
Sounds great.
All right, buddy.
Popeyes.
Dave Bruzza, everyone. Fuck yeah. We're going to Popeyes.